So your ear's itching, but it's like right next to your eardrum. There's like a little itch that's like. It's just a bit crazy, isn't it? Really. I'm a dolphin. This whole everything. This isn't a plural thing. This is an individual situation. Let's just get it right, okay? And then we don't have to do many takes. You just do one take and over. Just ignore me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Cece, and welcome to my world.
What's my name? Got daddy. Big tunes, got the clock banging. Less man, more baddies. What's that?
How's everyone doing? We are officially in week 8 of quarantining. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm using it. I'm so ready just to be normal again. Who enjoys being locked up like a lab rat, waiting for a bit of freedom? I feel like I'm gonna wait maybe even an extra week after the government said everyone's allowed to go back out again. I want to see what happens when people. I want to be one of the first ones to go out, and then, you know, everything hits the fan and it just gets blown back in. No, I'm not into that. So I'm waiting till everybody else has had their turn at figuring out what's what. How are you guys all managing? What can you do? I've played games on Zoom. I even joined the house party app for a bit. That got deleted real quick because sucked out my battery. A whole heap of crazy random people on there. I wasn't with it. I've eaten my body weight in food. Like, I've literally gained, I think I've actually genuinely gained a stone over the last 8 weeks, which is insane. My mum's been baking, and again I've been eating what she's been baking. So yeah, this whole quarantine life is not for me. I'm so ready to just go back in and work in the office and just be a normal human being that functions in a normal society. I'm over this. Boris Johnson, if you're watching me, highly doubt it, but if you are, I'm over it. I'm over it. COVID-19 needs to go find itself somewhere else to go because planet Earth is over it. Now that I've got that rant out of the way, let's get down to business. So as you may be aware, I do a weekly poll on my Instagram story. On the weekly poll, I get you guys to choose out of 2 looks which you'd prefer me to, I guess, create and post. This week, the looks were either full glam face or an everyday face. Full glam one. I have to be honest, I'm kind of glad. I was just like, every day is kind of boring. And it was really, really close because I think it was something like 56 to 44 or something. No, that's not equal. 56 to... No, that is right. Yeah, right up until the end, everyday face was winning, and I was just like, oh, okay, I can do that if you really want me to. So yeah, stay tuned and watch me recreate a full glam face. Yeah, I always start with my eyebrows. I just find it the easiest thing to do. I kind of work my way down my face, so eyebrows, eyes, and then skin. I'll be back in a second. I'm back. I've completed my eyebrows. I've used a much lighter base under my eyebrows than I normally would do, and then I've gone for a more of a skin tone on top. So for under my brows and for my lid preparation, I've used the P.Louise Base in 02, and then for on top of my brows, I've used the LA Girl Pro Concealer in Fawn. Fawn is, well, when I first got it, it was like 2 shades lighter than me. Obviously it's winter, so now it's probably like near enough a shade or near enough the same colour as me at the moment, but that's what I've used on top. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and create my full glam eye look. So right now all I'm doing is packing on my crease colour. I always work from darkest to lightest when I'm working with the crease and the underbrow colour. I know you can do it any way you want, and I know that some people work from lightest at the top to darkest, but I just find it easier to blend from dark to light. While I'm doing this, I'm being very strategic in where I'm placing my brush and how I'm placing the colour down on my lid. I've got a slight hooded eye, and so as you can see when I look up, it's like the whole of my lid disappears. So what I tend to do, instead of putting my crease colour in my actual crease, I put it just above my crease, and that way it allows for a larger looking lid than I naturally have. To create the blended from dark to the more of a reddy bricky coloured, what I've done is I've used the same packing brush, and instead of putting it just on top of the darker shade, I've tried to put it 50% over the darker shade and then 50% over the space that was above it, and that way it gives that more of a blended look. Once I've packed that shade on, what I've done is then gone on with a fluffy brush and blended the edge of the darker shade in with the redder lighter shade, just to give it more of a seamless, I guess a seamless blend. So basically I've gone from that to this, and so I'm gonna just go ahead and complete this side of my eye as well. So I just wanted to show you here as well, if I were to just use the packer brush and pack on the colour, this is what it would look like. As you can see the complete difference between the darker shade and the reddy brick colour, and what we're trying to get is a blended effect. This is why I use two different brushes. I use the packer brush to pack on the colour, and then I use the fluffier brush to blend in between the two shades. If you want a more of a darker look and you've put too much red in, then you go in with the darker shade and blend, vice versa. I'm wanting more of a darker colour. The look that I'm going for, I'm wanting a very sultry, I guess, cut crease look. And again, like I said, because I don't have a lot of natural lid space, I've gone up as high as possible up into the arch of my eyebrows without trying to take up the whole of the space, because I find that once you take up the whole of the space, you get that kind of 80s Pat Butcher kind of eyeshadow look, and that's not what we're trying to achieve. We're just trying to utilize as much space as possible. So if you can get as close to your eyebrow arch as possible without actually going into your eyebrow, that's how you'll get the, I guess, the wider, bigger lid space look. What we're going to do now is just go ahead and cut the crease. I'm going to go back in with the P.Louise 02 shade to cut the crease. I know that I mentioned that I wanted to give my review of the Acid Rain brush collection and obviously the P.Louise base, so I will come back with a later video on the review of these. Also stay tuned. Like I said, because I've got small lids, what I tend to do is go above my crease again with the product, again to give the look of a larger space. And this also opens up your eyes, so it just makes you look like you've got bigger eyes than you actually have. So once I've cut my crease, what I like to do, especially when I use the P.Louise base, I like to just sit with my eyes closed for about 30 seconds to a minute, just to allow the product to set, just get comfortable with my own skin. I have found that if I move my eyelid too quick, it does crease, and so I guess by giving the 30 seconds to a minute, it allows for the product to just, I guess, set a little bit better. For this look, I'm gonna go with a gold colour in the very corners of my eyes. I'm using the same packer brush to pack on that colour because I want it to be really intense. As you can see that I've gone over the crease colour. Don't worry, because we can always go back in and correct that once we've finished. My main objective right now is just to pack on as much colour as possible. If we make any mistakes, we go through and correct that once we've finished what we're doing. For this look, I will be using glitter as well, which I know that for a lot of people, like, the idea of using glitter, it's crazy. But when I said full glam, I'm wanting to go full glam. Well, when I'm using glitter, I always try and pick a eyeshadow pigment the closest to the glitter that I'm about to use. So the glitter I'm going to use is a rose gold. I changed my mind, as you do, and I've gone in with a champagne colour next to the gold, just because I feel like rose gold and yellow gold are very gold, and so I wanted a kind of a dimension between the two. Using the fluffy brush from earlier, blending the two colours together, because you don't want them to look too... Unless that's the look you're going for, you're wanting everything to be as blended and as seamless as possible. And sometimes when you're putting on different colours on top of each other, sometimes you can lose the colour that you've put on. So the best thing to do is go back in with the colour that you're trying not to lose. And I'm just trying to get the blend between the two as close together, even going back into the gold. And for the very end, what I'm doing is putting on a darker shimmer. And again, going in with that fluffy brush, pick up some of that darker shade that we used earlier. So I have one eye completed. Go ahead and complete this eye. As I mentioned earlier, accidents, we can go back and correct them. I've got a really thin fluffy pencil in there enough brush, and where I made that mistake there, I'm just going back in with the darker shade that we used and just sharpening back that edge up, just like that. Now that we've done that, we're now going to go in with some glitter. For glitter, what I tend to use is eyelash glue. You can buy normal glitter glue, but I tend to just use eyelash glue because I always forget to buy glue. What I also tend to do is mix my glitters up. This 2 rose gold and this is 2 yellow gold. Mix the rose gold with a bit of pink and a tiny bit of this, and maybe even a speck of silver. Makeup is a form of art. Feel free to mix and blend and create whatever colour that you want. As you can see, I've only put it in certain areas on my eyes. I used a very, very small packer brush. It's like the smallest packer brush I've ever seen. It is so small, and I ended up using the lighter pink, the rose gold, and a smidgen of the red. So now that I've done that, I'm gonna go put on the eyeliner and I will be rico. I'm not a massive foundation wearer. I don't tend to wear foundation, even if I'm doing sort of a full glam look. It's only very rarely I'll wear foundation, but for the sake of this full glam look, I thought I'd wear it. Now, the foundation that I guess I've got the most of at the moment is my MAC foundation, and I wear an NW40 in MAC, and this is the Studio Fix Fluid SPF 15 foundation. And so what I do, I just take a dollop on the back of my hand and I use my Real Techniques brush. Oh, and just to let you know, I have already primed my skin. I use as little foundation as possible. I really do not like foundation on my skin. We move. I go back in with my LA Girl Pro Concealer. a lot of people are like, oh, you're not gonna conceal your nose. I am strongly against nose contour, and I know people are like, well, it's to bring definition back into your face and you know, just make your nose look like a nose again, but I'm totally against it. I believe it is, a lot of people use nose contour to redefine their nose, but a lot of people use it to make their nose look slimmer, more of a European look, and I'm not European, I'm black, and I never will be European, and who's gonna check me? I will have my button nose until the day I die. I have a very small forehead. Like people are like, oh, I've got 5 heads. My forehead is tingy, so I always like to conceal my forehead, then highlight it and put all sorts on it just to make forehead look like it's an actual forehead. Now that we've done the prime, the foundation, the concealer, we're now going with contour. Let me know if you want me to do a skin prep video. That's what the comment box is for. I use LA Girl Pro Concealer in Mahogany. I only use cream contour on my cheeks. I don't use cream contour anywhere else. I get a kabuki brush, blend out. Now the reason I hold it here is just because I have better control of the brush like that. I use Mary Kay Mineral Powder Foundation in Bronze 2. I use this just because I don't like translucent powders. I always wipe my brushes off after I've used them. That's one thing I always do, because what I try and do is wash my brushes at least every 2 weeks. Just at the moment I'm not wearing makeup at all. If I've got a client, I'll always wash the brushes before I do the makeup, but if it's just on myself, I can leave it like 2-3 weeks before I actually wash them properly. But before then I just use a baby wipe or some makeup brush cleaner. What I like to do now is just go in with my contour. And I'll take it all the way, like literally into my hair, all the way up into my hair, all the way along my underneath my cheekbones, all the way up, and I just go back and forth. And as I'm doing that, as you can see, I've got rid of where I was baking. Sometimes I see some people that have contoured and it's just like, and I'm like, that is just, where are you going, friend? Blend it in. And because remember, you've used a really light powder and a really light concealer under your eye. You don't want the contrast to be really light and then really dark. It just looks weird. No one wants to look like a literal colouring book. I know we're using our face as a colouring book, but we don't want to look like, do you remember when you were little and you used to have them books and you used to have dots and you'd colour in the specific area based on the number? That's not what we're trying to blend seamlessly in together. This is not number 3 and this is not number 1. We are 1, 2, 3. That's what we're working with. 1, 2, 3. The only thing that we've got left to do is the lips and the lashes. So I'm going to use some Jimire Beauty lashes. In my previous video I spoke about Jimire Beauty and I used their lashes. So these are some of their fluffy lashes. I spoke about the eyelash glue. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I love their glue. I love a bit of gloss. So I'm going in with the NYX Cream Lip in Club Hopper. I literally don't need a lip liner with this. What I tend to do though, to neaten it up, if I do make a mistake or anything like that, what I tend to do is go back with concealer and just tidy it up. It's a liquid lip. I leave it to set and dry down, and then what I'm gonna do is go over with a lip gloss. Now this is a lip smells so good. I'm gonna do a review on the lip glosses in a later video, just because I'm waiting for a few more colours. I just want to see the colour contrasts and what they look like and blah, blah, all that good stuff. So guys, this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be doing more of these type of videos in the future. As I said earlier in the video, on my Instagram I'll be doing weekly polls of different looks that I would like to create, and I'm leaving it up to you guys to vote and decide which out of the two you'd prefer. This is the result that you guys voted for on my Instagram, so go on there, start following me and start voting, guys, because the more you vote, the more likely you are to get what you want. Once you've decided, I'll be coming on the channel to recreate the look for you so that you know exactly what I've used and step-by-step guides on how to do it. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully you know what I'm talking about. So head over to my Instagram and get involved in the voting. Next week we'll be voting for another look. Exciting! Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Subscribe. That's the most important thing. If you've got any questions or anything like that, again, don't forget to comment. All the links for everything that I've used, P.Louise, the eyelashes and the eyelash glue, will be linked in the description box below. Go ahead and purchase. Until next time, see you later.